If you want a masterclass in financial delusion, I invite you to study the American condominium developer. 3 years ago, they looked at the housing market and decided, with absolute certainty, that what every city in America truly needed was a 500 square foot luxury glass box, suspended 80 feet in the air, complete with an artisanal pet spa, a yoga deck nobody uses, and a price tag that requires a tech executive's salary. Well, the bill has officially come due. We are currently watching the greatest high-rise hangover in real estate history. Condominium developers across the country build so much inventory, so fast, for a demographic of buyers that apparently evaporated into thin air, that the market is fundamentally broken. We are talking about brand new luxury units sitting empty for months. We are talking about developers quietly offering to pay your closing costs, buy down your mortgage rate, and throw in a year of free HOA fees just so they don't have to default on their construction loans. It's an absolute bloodbath for the builders and a potential gold mine for you. Let's set the stage, because the mainstream real estate media is terrified to talk about this. The national narrative is still stuck on the idea that housing is fundamentally unaffordable, and there's zero inventory available anywhere. And if you are looking for a 4-bedroom single-family home with a yard in a top school district, yeah, that is probably true. But the condo market is operating in a completely different, parallel universe. While single-family homes are holding their value, condos in major U.S. metros are currently drowning in oversupply. Outsiders see the glittering skylines of Miami, Austin, or Nashville and assume the luxury party is still going strong. They don't realize that behind those tinted windows, developers are sweating through their custom suits. This is the classic boom and bust cycle. Wall Street money flowed in, the cranes went up, the interest rates shifted, and now the music has stopped. Buyers have completely recoiled at the thought of paying a 6% mortgage rate on top of an $800 monthly HOA fee. Are you currently trapped renting? Or have you noticed the for sale signs piling up outside the luxury buildings in your downtown? Drop a comment below and let me know the craziest HOA fee you've seen lately, because I guarantee it's hilarious. Let's dive into the 18 U.S. cities where developers are hitting the panic button and condos are practically free. Number 18. Miami, Florida. Welcome to Miami, the city where real estate dreams go to wear white linen and eventually get crushed by an insurance actuary. Right now, Miami-Dade is experiencing a massive supply shock. Weekly new condo listings have surged almost 50% year over year. You have thousands of new, ultra-luxury units hitting the market at the exact same time older buildings are dealing with the catastrophic fallout of post-Surfside special assessments. Inventory in some premium segments is sitting at a staggering 19 months of supply. The lifestyle here is legendary. You get the beaches, the nightlife, the endless supply of people pretending to be cryptocurrency billionaires. But the downside is absolutely brutal. You aren't just buying a condo, you are buying into an HOA that is currently terrified of state-mandated structural inspections and exploding wind insurance premiums. Developers in neighborhoods like Edgewater are offering massive, quiet incentives to move units, because the alternative is letting them sit dark. It turns out that a sweeping ocean view is slightly less romantic when the maintenance fee costs more than the mortgage. Number 17. Austin, Texas. Austin spent the last 4 years acting like it was the new center of the universe, and developers responded by building luxury condo towers as if every single person in California was legally required to move there. The hangover is spectacular. Austin currently has a staggering 14% vacancy rate in its new condo market. Overall housing inventory has climbed above 16,000 active listings, and nearly half of those have already taken at least one price cut. The median price in the metro is down, but the condo sector is where the real pain is concentrated. The culture here is incredible live music, world-class barbecue, and a vibrant tech scene. But the trade-off for buying a high-rise here is dealing with the famous Austin tax paradox. You are buying into a market where the local property tax assessments haven't fully accepted that the boom is over. You can walk into a sales gallery today and negotiate like a mob boss. Developers are sitting on empty buildings while their carrying costs eat them alive. The gold rush is over. Welcome to the clearance rack. Number 16. Nashville, Tennessee. Music City built an entire downtown economy out of bachelorette parties, neon lights, and the assumption that the good times would literally never end. The data in Nashville shows a market desperately trying to sober up, while entry-level condos in the suburbs are holding steady. The downtown high-rise market is getting crushed under the weight of its own ambition. Active listings are up significantly, and nearly 20% of all homes in the metro have seen a price cut. Living in a downtown Nashville condo means you are at the absolute epicenter of the action. You can walk to Broadway, catch a world-class show, and enjoy a truly elite food scene. But the downside is that you are paying luxury HOA fees often ranging from $700 to $3,000 a month to live in a building that is surrounded by constant, grinding construction traffic. If you want a high-end unit in the Gulch, you hold all the cards. Sellers are tired, inventory is building, and the developers who thought they could charge Manhattan prices in Tennessee are currently reevaluating their life choices. Number 15. Las Vegas. Nevada. Las Vegas is a city built entirely on the concept of high-stakes gambling, so it's only fitting that condo developers roll the dice and completely crapped out. The high-rise condo market just off the Strip is currently drowning in available units. Developers pushed hard into the luxury space, hoping to attract wealthy California exiles who wanted a pied-a-terre with casino access. Instead, they got a massive backlog of inventory and a buyer pool that completely evaporated when mortgage rates went up. The lifestyle is exactly what you think it is: 24/7 entertainment, world-class dining, and zero state income tax. But the brutal trade-off is the volatility. Vegas real estate is notoriously boom or bust, and right now, it's heavily tilting toward bust in the high-density sectors. You can find motivated sellers offering massive price reductions on units that look like they belong in a James Bond movie. Just remember, the house always wins unless the house is a luxury condo developer in 2026. Number 14. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix developers looked at the endless, sprawling desert and decided the most logical thing to do was build expensive vertical concrete boxes that bake in the sun. The oversupply in the Phoenix and Scottsdale condo markets is staggering. Builders flooded the zone with mid-rise and high-rise projects, completely ignoring the fact that the primary appeal of Arizona has always been cheap, single-family suburban sprawl. Living here gives you a resort lifestyle for 8 months of the year, with incredible golf, hiking, and a hyper-clean aesthetic. The catch? You are paying massive cooling costs and HOA fees that have to cover constant pool maintenance in a city that is rapidly running out of cheap groundwater. If you are willing to brave the summer heat, you can walk into a brand new Scottsdale condo development and basically dictate your own terms. Number 13. Denver, Colorado. Denver spent the last decade convinced that its proximity to the Rocky Mountains justified charging San Francisco prices for a box in the sky. The reality check has officially arrived. The downtown condo market is heavily oversupplied, with inventory stacking up as buyers actively avoid the urban core in favor of the suburbs. Price cuts in the condo sector are accelerating, and developers are quietly throwing in massive design upgrades just to get people to sign a contract. You get access to a great craft beer scene, walkable neighborhoods, and a relatively short drive to world-class skiing. But the downside is that downtown Denver is currently struggling with severe urban growing pains, making those massive HOA fees feel like a very bad investment. The developers built for a millennial tech boom that already packed up and moved to the suburbs. Their losses you're negotiating. Leverage. Number 12. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is the economic engine of the South, a sprawling metropolis that recently decided it wanted to look more like Chicago, resulting in a massive wave of high-rise construction. The inventory data in areas like Buckhead and Midtown is absolutely bloated. Developers built thousands of luxury units assuming the corporate relocation wave would never crest. Now, those units are sitting on the market for months, and the price reductions are getting aggressive. The culture is incredibly vibrant, with diverse neighborhoods, a massive entertainment industry, and a booming corporate sector. The trade-off, however, is that you are buying a condo in a city where the primary religion is driving a car. You are paying a premium for density in a market that fundamentally values sprawl. If you want a luxury view of the Atlanta skyline, the developers are currently handing out discounts like they are trying to clear out old inventory. At a car dealership, number 11, Seattle, Washington. Seattle developers spent years catering exclusively to hiring tech workers who wanted to live in sleek, gray boxes that perfectly match the weather. Today, the downtown Seattle condo market is a ghost town of inventory, with major tech companies shifting to hybrid or remote models. The demand for expensive, ultra-dense urban living has plummeted. Sellers are slashing prices, and new construction buildings are sitting largely vacant. The lifestyle gives you incredible access to the Pacific Northwest outdoors, a legendary coffee culture, and stunning water views. But the brutal reality is that you are paying astronomical HOA fees in a downtown core that many locals are actively trying to avoid. It is a true buyer's market. If you have the cash and don't mind the rain, you can secure a piece of Seattle real estate for a price that would have been completely impossible 3 years ago. Number 10. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is a world-class architectural marvel where the skyline is beautiful, the food is unmatched, and the property taxes are genuinely terrifying. The condo market in downtown Chicago has been soft for years, but it has recently entered a state of sheer capitulation. Inventory is massive. Days on market are stretching into infinity, and sellers are taking significant losses just to get out from under their property tax burden and escalating HOA fees. You get an incredibly rich, historic, and culturally dense lifestyle that rivals New York for half the price. The catch is that the local government views your condo as an ATM machine, and the winter wind coming off Lake Michigan will physically assault you for months out of the year, if you can handle the taxes and the cold. Downtown Chicago is currently operating like a luxury real estate fire sale. Number 9. Portland, Oregon. Portland developers built high-end eco condos for a bohemian utopia that quickly collided with severe urban reality. The condo oversupply here is intense. Sellers are highly motivated, and new developers are offering massive concessions because the demand for high-density living in the city center has absolutely cratered. The culture is still distinctly Portland weird, creative, and surrounded by some of the best nature in the country. But the downside is that the urban core has struggled heavily with livability issues, making it incredibly difficult to convince buyers to pay a premium for a downtown zip code. You can buy a beautiful, modern unit here for a massive discount, provided you are willing to bet on the city's long-term civic recovery. Number 8. Dallas, Texas. Dallas is a market that fundamentally believes bigger is better, which is why developers build a massive wave of high-end condos in a city where everyone actually just wants a giant house in the suburbs. The inventory in neighborhoods like Uptown and Victory Park is swelling. Developers are stuck holding the bag on ultra-luxury units because the local buyer pool realizes they can get a 4-bedroom house with a pool in Frisco for the exact same price as a 2-bedroom condo downtown. The lifestyle is flashy, corporate, and heavily focused on high-end dining and shopping. The trade-off is that you are fighting an uphill battle against the Texas ethos of land ownership. Condos here just don't appreciate the way single-family homes do. The developers overplayed their hand, and now they are quietly slashing prices to offload inventory before the carrying costs ruin their quarter. Number 7. Orlando, Florida. Orlando developers looked at the massive influx of tourists and decided to build luxury condos. For investors who wanted a piece of the Disney magic, the magic is gone. The condo market is completely saturated, driven by a massive oversupply of short-term rental properties and new construction units that have nowhere to go. Price cuts are the new normal, and developer incentives are practically mandatory to close a deal. You get constant sunshine, zero state income tax, and endless entertainment options. The brutal trade-off is that the local economy is entirely reliant on tourism. Wages are structurally low, and the insurance crisis hitting the rest of Florida is creeping into the condo HOA fees here as well. If you want a vacation condo, the market is completely flooded. Name your price and wait for the developer to blink. Number 6. Los Angeles. California downtown LA saw a massive revitalization effort over the last decade, driven by developers who wanted to create a walkable, dense urban core in a city famous for its freeways. The plan completely backfired. The luxury condo market in DTLA is currently suffocating under a massive glut of inventory. High-rise developers are offering ridiculous incentives, from paid parking spots for life to waive HOA fees for 2 years just to get buyers to look at their buildings. The culture gives you incredible access to the arts, world-class dining, and the entertainment industry. The downside is that downtown Los Angeles is a deeply complex, often chaotic urban environment, and you are paying a massive premium to live in a box while navigating it. The builders assumed the demand for density in LA was infinite. They were wrong, and now they are paying for it. Number 5. San Francisco, California. San Francisco is the poster child for a real estate market that completely lost touch with reality, and the condo sector is currently taking the hardest hit. The inventory of luxury condos in neighborhoods like Soma and downtown is staggering. Sellers are taking massive losses on units they bought 5 years ago, and new developers are essentially begging buyers to take inventory off their hands. You are buying into one of the most naturally beautiful and historically significant tech hubs on the planet. The trade-off is that the city is undergoing a massive, painful structural reset, and the HOA fees on these luxury buildings are astronomical. If you have the capital and the stomach for volatility, you are buying San Francisco real estate at a discount that hasn't been seen in over a decade. Number 4. Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is the banking capital of the South, and developers build a skyline full of condos assuming the finance brothers would buy them all. They didn't. The condo market is currently oversupplied, particularly in the sleek, new high-rises surrounding the urban core. Price reductions are rampant, and the days on market are extending as buyers realize they hold all the leverage. The lifestyle is clean, corporate, and incredibly stable, with a great brewery scene and easy access to both the mountains and the coast. The downside is that Charlotte is fundamentally a suburban commuter city, and the appeal of paying a massive HOA fee for a downtown view is severely limited. The developers built too much, too fast, and now you can reap the rewards of their terrible market timing. Number 3. San Diego. California. San Diego has the best weather in the country, but the downtown condo market is currently experiencing a severe cold front. The inventory of luxury high-rises in areas like the Gaslamp Quarter and East Village is piling up. Developers pushed the pricing so high that they completely alienated the local buyer pool, and now they are trapped holding expensive, empty units. You get the perfect Southern California lifestyle: beaches, tacos, and endless sunshine. The brutal trade-off is the overall cost of living, combined with the fact that these luxury towers come with HOA fees that rival a luxury car payment. If you want a view of the Pacific Ocean, the developers are finally ready to negotiate. Number 2. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is a historic, gritty, and fiercely proud city where developers recently tried to force a massive influx of hyper-expensive, glass-box condos. The market has completely rejected them. The condo inventory in Center City is massive, and sellers are slashing prices just to escape. The supply of new units completely outpaced the organic demand of the city. The culture is incredible: deep history, elite sports fans, and a food scene that goes way beyond cheesesteaks. The catch is the local wage tax, the aging infrastructure, and the fact that you can buy a beautiful, historic row home in a great neighborhood for less than the price of a generic new-build condo. The developers fundamentally misunderstood the Philadelphia buyer, and now they are paying the price. Number 1. Honolulu, Hawaii. And finally, the number 1 market where condo developers are in absolute panic mode: Honolulu. The data here is wild. The condo market is completely frozen, heavily burdened by new regulations targeting short-term rentals and massive, terrifying special assessments as older buildings scramble to meet new safety codes. New luxury developers are caught in the crossfire, holding massive inventory in a market where buyers are absolutely terrified of the HOA fees. The lifestyle is literal paradise. You are living in a postcard, but the catastrophic trade-off is that you are buying into an incredibly fragile, isolated economy where the cost of maintaining a high-rise building in a corrosive salt air environment is astronomical. If you have ever wanted to own a piece of paradise, the market is currently having a localized meltdown. The developers are desperate, the sellers are panicked, and the condos are practically free if you can afford the maintenance. So, what is the ultimate lesson here? It's simple. Never underestimate the ability of a real estate developer to completely misread a market. They looked at a temporary, pandemic-era anomaly and assumed they had discovered a permanent new reality. They built millions of square feet of luxury boxes in the sky, assuming the buyers would just magically appear with duffel bags full of cash. Instead, they hit a wall of high interest rates, exhausted buyers, and a fundamental realization that paying $1,000 a month just to use an elevator and a communal gym is a terrible financial strategy. If you are a buyer sitting on the sidelines, this is exactly the kind of structural inefficiency you wait for. The developers are bleeding, the inventory is massive, and the leverage has completely shifted. Are we looking at a temporary oversupply, or is the American obsession with the luxury condo officially dead? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit subscribe if you enjoy watching institutional capital make terrible decisions, and I will see you in the next breakdown.